A blessed day, everyone. I am Jamela, and welcome again to Book and I. This is a program that will look on different books and their insights, which will help us to grow more in faith and practice. The previous chapter introduced us to four major models of how the church responds to culture. Each model showed both strengths and weaknesses, and we saw that none of them is sufficient on its own. Now, in this chapter, Timothy Keller helps us understand why that is the case. Let us now explore why all the models are right and wrong. In this chapter, Keller explains that each of the four cultural engagement models captures an important biblical truth, yet at the same time, overemphasizes one aspect while neglecting others. Because of this imbalance, every model becomes both helpful and limited. The key idea of this chapter is that culture is complex, and the Bible itself presents multiple perspectives on how Christians should relate to it. Therefore, no single model can fully represent a faithful Christian response. Instead of choosing only one approach, the church must learn to hold these truths together in tension. Keller emphasizes that the problem is not that these models are wrong, but that they are incomplete when isolated. So, let us look why the models are right. Each model reflects a genuine biblical principle. The transformationist model is right because the gospel does have the power to renew and influence every area of life. Christians are indeed called to be salt and light in society. The relevance model is right because the gospel must be communicated in ways that people in every culture can understand. God's truth should connect with real human experiences. The counterculturalist model is right because the church must remain distinct and holy. Christians are not to conform to sinful pattern of the world. And the two kingdoms model is right because it recognizes that God works in different ways through the church and through broader society, and it protects the gospel from being reduced to politics or social programs. Each of these perspectives highlights something true and necessary for faithful Christian living. At the same time, each model becomes problematic when it is treated as the only way to engage the culture. So, let us look why the models are wrong. The transformationist model can become overly optimistic, assuming culture can be fully changed and underestimating the persistence of sin. The relevance model can go too far in adapting to culture, eventually compromising or diluting the message of the gospel. The counterculturalist model may withdraw too much, creating distance from society and losing opportunities to influence and love others. And the two kingdoms model can lead to disengagement, where faith is separated from public life and cultural responsibility is minimized. In short, each model tends to overcorrect in one direction, leading to imbalance, which is why there is the need for balance. Keller stresses that the Bible itself presents a multi-dimensional view of culture. First, culture is created by God and contains good. Culture is also fallen and corrupted by sin, and culture can be redeemed and renewed through the gospel. Because of this, Christians are called to relate to culture in multiple ways at once, which are to affirm what is good, reject what is sinful, and transform what can be renewed. This means the church must constantly exercise wisdom and discernment rather than relying on a single fixed model. Just like in the previous chapter, we are reminded that no single model is enough on its own. However, this chapter deepens that insight by showing why balance is necessary, because a faithful church should avoid extreme position, recognize the value of each model, and learn when to apply different approaches, depending on the situation. In the end, the goal is not to choose between models, but to develop a gospel-centered approach that is flexible, discerning, and rooted in biblical truth. This balanced way of engaging culture allows the church to remain faithful to God's word while also being effective in reaching and serving the world. And that is our chapter for today. Hope you learned something and may the peace of Christ be with us all. Again, this is Book and I.